Good evening, Lake Orion. Well, I'm your host today. Ian's out sick.
But we
So-
replaced him.
We got replaced, as usual. So I'm your host today, and I am Between Taorminas. Yes, indeed, Lake Orion. It's me, Anthony. I'm here. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
Show 195.
Yes.
Isn't that unbelievable? You got you got 5 more episodes and we're on show 200.
Yes.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Hoping to have Double O here with us.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Ian?
Gee, nice substitute.
Ian Jr.
Hey, the other one's got to get well soon. He's got.
Yeah, the
I
other
guess-
one's out with the flu.
Yes.
Hopefully he does get better soon.
Yes.
Should we talk Tigers or nah?
Let's go.
Let's
wait
talk
for a
Dragons
segment.
first.
Let's go Dragons.
Let's
yeah.
go Dragons first because, you've got, this is the first week for football.
Mm-hmm.
Football plays Chippewa Valley. You got soccer plays at Oxford and hosts Elmont. Volleyball's has got 2 big tournaments after winning the tournament at Saline. So what do you think about this whole for Lake Orion Athletics getting right back to work?
You know, it's a monster week for Lake Orion Athletics because when
Yes.
you look at you mentioned the games. This is an opportunity, I think, to prove that Lake Orion Athletics is back. You know what I mean? Especially now with school starting up in about 2 weeks.
Right.
The kids can just focus on their sports and getting everything ready for the season. You know what I mean? And then before they hit the books, starting in 2 weeks. So it's interesting.
Right. Well, I want to talk about. There's a lot of excitement in the air. We've talked about it before on the previous show, and also on your OA Now podcast. That we've got that there's a lot of excitement in football. There's some uncertainty, but there's a lot of excitement. This week, football plays Clinton Township, Chippewa Valley at Wayne State Thursday at 7 p.m. What do you think about that challenge for the Dragons this week?
You know, when you're going up against a team that has a lot of emotion, like what Chippewa Valley's had to go through with the death of Duncan Blair, of course, it's going to be challenging because especially when you have to deal with a team that has 40 seniors on the team, a very good quarterback in Patrick Bristol, a very good wide receivers being looked at by several Big Ten schools and stuff on Claiborne. I know Iowa's been looking at him, Illinois has been looking at him. He originally committed to Western Michigan, but he ended up decommitting there.
Right,
Western
though he
Michigan
still has
still
interest.
Still has interest, yes. But, with this matchup here, they got 2 offensive linemen who's very good. They have a defensive lineman who's very good, and Nico Morasco. They got 2 offensive linemen who are also pretty good as well. So it's going to be a challenge for the Dragons. It's going to be an interesting matchup when looking at especially with what Chippewa Valley has. Of course, last year, Chippewa Valley, Pat Bristol, of course, only played only played 9 games, but he threw a school record 27 touchdown passes. The guy can run, he can throw it, you know what I mean? But it's going to be an interesting challenge for the Dragons, especially to see them to test that defensive line and their linebacking core. The linebacking core is very concerning to me in this game, also the secondary. So it's going to be an interesting challenge for the Dragons.
Also, what do you think if you look at, do you expect this game to be a very close game?
I expect it to be close because of you look at Chippewa Valley's senior experience. They have a lot of that, even though they only have 11 starters total back.
Right.
I know Claiborne plays in 2 ways. I think Stanley Williams, their strong safety, I think plays 2 ways. But you look at this game here. I think the key is going to be can the Dragons sustain balance offensively? Because when you look at here, they're bringing in a new quarterback in Kane Prescorn. You got Max Warnerfer, you got Tyler Barkley, and you also got Mike Jarvis who's
Noah
now playing,
Harris.
and Noah Harris. I think those guys are key in this matchup. But because Chippewa Valley is going to try to stop Orion's run attack. Of course, last year Matt Krause ran for about 470 yards last year against the Chippewa Valley's defense. Now, I know their defense is going to be much better. I don't know how they're getting a lot of hype surrounding them. I know their senior class is very good. Their offense is very good. I mean, like, but like I said, and I said this to you, this is still different. This is the same Chippewa Valley team that played Orion last year. You know what I mean? They just have different faces. Of course, some Bristol. Of course, some playing for Tyler Kalka, who's now gone. Sean Bunning now is gone. They still got to find who is that number 2 receiver, because you know that Claiborne's their top gun. You know, but they got experience. So this is going to be a tough assignment for the Dragons. And I think if Caden Prescore shows up in this game, I think Lake Orion's got a great chance of winning this game.
Do you got the Dragons getting the job done?
I actually do have the Dragons winning this game because, one, when you finish 4-5, like they did last year, and one of their losses was to Chippewa Valley. Of course, they only scored 7 points in the fourth quarter in the second half last year. You have got – I mean, this is a game where I think Lake Orion's got to be ticked off. They got to be just absolutely ticked off after the way they played last year, the way they lost that game last year, which is mind-boggling.
The penalties.
The penalties, of course. You know, Chippewa Valley had 2 penalties last year. Orion had 11 penalties last year. That was a huge difference. So I think if you look at this game here, I mean, it's going to be a close game. I think Orion wins this in a shootout. I think because of, one, I like their offense. I like their experience. And then also, you know, against Chippewa Valley, I know they're going to be playing a lot of emotion, but you got to be composed in this game. And I don't know, you know, and whoever wins this game is going to be in good shape. Whoever loses this game, going to be picking them up, going to be in a hole a little bit.
I want to talk about volleyball a little bit. Volleyball's just won a tournament in Saline. They host a tournament, but it's at the Brownstown Sports Center located in Wayne County.
I don't understand.
And then on that Saturday they play Dakota. Volleyball's got a tough few tournaments coming up.
When you look at volleyball this year, they have to beat Clarkson where it matters, because that has been the team that's given them a lot of problems, a lot of trouble. And you can be deep, you have a lot of experience back, but as long as if you don't beat Clarkson in the games where it counts, then you don't go anywhere. You know, when you look at the last few years, Lake Orion's played Clarkston. You know what I mean? In 11, they beat them in the state semifinals. They lost in the regular season game. In 12, they lost in both the league and they lost in the district. 13, same thing. 14, same last year, same thing. You know, I mean, Clarkson's been a team that's been on this team's. It's been like
a thorn on the Dragon side.
On their side, and then it's like their roadblock. It's been the Clarkson Wolves and Kelly Everett Pinner. You know, she does a job with that Wolves team. But for Orion to win, this has got to be the year they do it, because if not, I don't know if they're going to ever do it against Clarkson.
This week also, one team we haven't talked about very much is one thing that we didn't talk about very much is soccer a little bit. Obviously, you got soccer. Soccer's a very, very, you know, they tied with Notre Dame Prep. They play Oxford this week and they play Almont this week. Lake Orion's competed in the white for soccer. They're in the white. Are you excited for soccer?
They lost a lot of offense last year.
Yes, they did.
They got a lot of defense back.
The goalie's back.
The goalie's back. I mean, but if they don't score goals, they ain't going to win. And, you know, you're looking at this team.
Sheldon Drake's
probably like one of your top offensive options. But this team is going to have to rely on its defense to win games. And, you know, and you look at the games that they have. Bloomfield Hills in that division.
Yes.
You also got Seaholm in that division. Those are going to be 2 tough teams in there. So when you look at that situation there with soccer, it's going to be very interesting. Right now, I mean, I think they're the 3rd place team right now behind those 2 teams right now, because Seaholm has a lot of experience back, and so does Bloomfield Hills. Bloomfield Hills was a team that went to the state semifinals a year ago. I mean, but Adams was a team that they went to state finals. You know what I mean? And they're in the same district as Orion this year. So it's gonna be a challenge, I think, for soccer this year. They play Oxford. I think, you know, when you look at that game, I think that it could be a low-scoring game, but Oxford has proven they can score goals. But I don't know who the competition they played. But it's going to be interesting to see what soccer is. I think soccer's a little bit down this year.
We'll see. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the Lions here on Between Taorminas on ONTV.
Make a trip over to the Orion Arts Center to enjoy some family fun and fresh food at the 2015 Lake Orion Farmers Market. Every Wednesday through October 21st from 2 to 7 p.m., local vendors will bring their farm fresh produce, baked goods, and more for the parents while the kids have some fun playing games or making crafts. Remember to come often as vendors change from week to week as new crops come into season. For more information on the Lake Orion Farmers Market or to sign up as a vendor, visit lakeorionfarmersmarket.com.
Hello, I'm Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard.
And I'm former Detroit Red Wing Joe Koster.
We'd like to remind you to practice safe boating by knowing the laws regarding water safety.
Please make sure you have the necessary safety equipment on board and be sure all of your equipment is working properly before leaving the dock.
And the probability of being involved in a boating accident nearly doubles when alcohol is involved. Always check local weather conditions, and if you notice darkening clouds, play it safe. Get off the water. Have a safe, enjoyable summer on the lake.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas on ONTV. Before we start talking about the Detroit Lions, Sammy wanted to continue bringing up some high school things real quick for volleyball, and also I have some things to bring up about soccer real quick. So let's bring those up real quick. First, you want to talk about volleyball?
Yeah, I think Seaham's going to be much better than people think. They have a lot of experience back, and then Troy's going to be solid. Oxford still got some questions. I like Stony Creek a lot in the Red, so it's going to be very interesting for the Red this year for Lake Orion.
I think soccer will be much better than you think. I think that soccer, you know, you're right that the defense is one of the strong points. You got to wonder who Lake Orion's going to have offensively, scoring-wise. But I think Lake Orion will contend in the white. Obviously, the favorites will probably be Bloomfield Hills and Seaholm. Oxford did play in a tournament this weekend out in Berkeley, and they were very successful in that. So, I mean, when they play Oxford, Oxford will be very, very interesting. Good test for the Dragons, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about the Detroit Lions. They had another exhibition, another scrimmage against the Washington Redskins. What's your take about the Lions?
First team looks good. Their backups look terrible.
Why?
Because let's look at it here. Their starters, you know, I thought Matt Stafford looked all right. I thought their defense looked very good. Pressured Robert Griffin III a lot. They
took him out of the game.
They took him out of the game. So it's something that you gotta give credit to there with the Lions. I mean, like their first team, but their second team was just a disaster. I'm sorry, just a disaster.
So do you think that the first team definitely is the best that the Lions have right now?
I think so, because when you look at this team, Matthew Stafford is what he is. I was a little surprised Amir Abdullah was not named starting running back, even though I like Theo Riddick a lot. But you also got Drake Bell who can get carries as well. So, you know, you're going to probably have a 3 running back logjam there. I think Abdullah is probably the best of the 3 backs. But wide receiver-wise, Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate, I mean, like, you need to find a true third wide receiver, 4 or 5, you know what I mean? I like Salas a lot. He can be your number 5 receiver.
So do you think the Lions are a lot like what Ian likes to mention, that with the Tigers, that the Tigers have pieces, but it just comes down to chemistry and gelling?
Yeah, I think it does, because, you know, you're having a whole new offensive line in there. You're having a whole new Stafford's had a couple months to get adjusted to this team. But when you look at the defense, it's probably the same thing for the Lions. They have to be a cohesive unit. You don't have a true star coming in, or we don't know if Hangadi Nada is going to play week 1 against the San Diego Chargers, you know, so, you know. But always the third preseason game is the key to see where you're at as a team, because, you know that they're going to keep those guaranteed, like, those guaranteed 11 players. You know, it's just you got to find and summon the rest of your team, you know what I mean? You got to find depth, you got to find some depth, and I don't know if I can trust this Lions team.
Were you
right now
surprised that
based
the
on-
Lions was Kyle Brenza?
You know, if he gets cut by the Lions, I think the Lions will regret it, because there will be a team that that out there will definitely benefit, would have him for a punter, especially what he can do. And especially now field goal kicking, I don't know, but he can kick a long field goal if need to be.
Right.
He's got a good boot. He's got a good arm. He's got a good
Good leg.
Good leg. Seeing him his days at Plymouth, seeing him at Notre Dame.
Right.
This guy can kick. He's got an NFL type of boot, and if he's not playing for Lions this year, I'd be very disappointed.
What do you think about one other team we tend to talk about is the Dallas Cowboys? What do you think about the Cowboys?
Dallas, I know I like Tony Romo. Drafted him my fantasy draft last night.
Questionable draft, but
But
pick, but
this Dallas team I think is gonna be very good heading into the year. I think they're a better team than the Giants, better team than the Eagles, better than the Redskins. I think the Redskins are a mess still. I think Dallas is the favorite to win the NFC East. NFC East.
Yeah, I think that too. Going forward, though, do you think the NFL has a clear-cut team on who can win the Super Bowl, or is it still too early to tell?
I think it's still too early to tell because when you look at who are the early favorites, you gotta look at the team. New England definitely is one of those teams to be up there. You got Seattle.
Reggie Wayne is going to play for New England.
You got Seattle who can contend there. You also got Green Bay who could be a contender. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting when you look at the league this year. You got some contenders there, but right now I would say the early favorites are New England, Green Bay, and Seattle right now.
Even with what happened with Green Bay losing Jordy Nelson.
Right. Well, with them they suffered. That was a huge bad break for losing Jordy Nelson. Huge setback. But you got Vontae Adams. I think he's going to be a huge player in that of that team this year now. And everybody's going to be focused a lot on Randall Cobb. So it's going to be very interesting in Green Bay. You know what I mean? To be to say the least over there in Packerland.
I'm very, very curious to see if the Lions will take advantage of this opportunity or if they will.
Well, we can't jinx at what happened, of course. Remember Jim Schwartz's last year. Remember when Jay Cutler got out and Aaron Rodgers was out. You know what I mean? And then it was like, don't ever trust advantage with the Lions because they will find a way to sink that advantage.
And we saw that.
Yep. Last year, of course, they were a playoff team. They lost to Green Bay in a heartbreaker at Lambeau. But
then they lost to Dallas.
And they lost to Dallas on I don't know what to say about the officiating in that game. That was awful. And then, when you look at this team, when you look at the Lions, they haven't won anything. They haven't done anything for the city. I know they're trying to build a winner, but until you do something, they ain't going to do much. They ain't going to do anything this year.
You don't think so? You think
No.
Stafford's out the door?
Well, no. I think he'll have a great year, but I don't know if they're better than Minnesota or Chicago right now. I think they're a second-place team right now, but I don't know if they're.
You don't think they're better?
I don't know if they're a playoff team.
Wait, you
or
said
not.
Minnesota and Chicago?
Well, they're not better
You're
than
saying
Green
they're
Bay.
better than Green? Oh,
They're not better than Green Bay.
Right,
I just think they're right now they're better than Minnesota, better than Chicago. So when you look at this team, but you don't know if they're a playoff team because the NFC's going to have at least. Because you're gonna have Seattle fighting, Arizona's gonna be fighting, and then you got in the NFC East you're gonna have Philadelphia, possibly Giants fighting, and you got in the South you got New Orleans fighting, probably got Carolina, and then you got Atlanta. So, it's not gonna be easy. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be easy for the Lions. They want to get a playoff spot.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts?
When you look at the Lions, this is a team that has a lot of questions. A lot of questions heading in the year for this team.
All right. Well, that will do for the second segment of Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV.
Lake Orion and Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina here, talking a new show here called OA Now. We're going to talk about sports from football to basketball to volleyball to track and field to soccer, cross country, etc. here on OA Now on ONTV.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV with your host of History Now, Anthony Taormina, and your host of OA Now, Sammy Taormina. And yeah, we got Ian Jr. here. Are you doing all right?
He's doing all right. He's having a nice time replacing Ian Weatherspoon. A lot better than Ian Weatherspoon, I'll tell you. Except Ian Weatherspoon's going to owe me dinner.
Let's talk about the reason why Ian Weatherspoon be owing you dinner. The
Yep.
Tigers.
Yep.
Lost another series.
Yep.
What are you saying about that?
They're done. They're done. Because here's why. They gave up on the season. This is a team that's completely lost it. They don't. Their offense didn't show up against Texas. 3 of 4. They lost. Their pitching's a disaster. They just lost Daniel Norris. Randy Wolf pitched all right, but why would you trade for a 29-year-old pitcher or for cash considerations? I mean, this Tiger team really might as well tank the season. They're done.
Well, let's talk about one of the Tigers' happier times was at Chicago at Wrigley Field. They had a great offensive outing against the Cubs.
They didn't show up against Texas.
Right, but they showed up against the Cubs. So, I mean, if you look
Wrigley
at
Field should be that team's new home. You know what I mean? I'm serious. They
feels
wanna-
like it. Look at a lot of fans in Tigers blue and
It
orange.
should be. It should be. But when you look at the Tigers, this is a hit and miss offense. They pitched all right. Daniel Norris hit his first
Daniel
home
Norris
run.
was unbelievable.
He hit
that game.
he's the first American League pitcher to hit a home run
At Wrigley
at
Field.
Wrigley Field in the history of Chicago. My God. I mean, this Tiger team, though, I think is in a lot of trouble. I mean, they're probably just waiting for 2016 to start next year.
You think so?
Yep.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for the Tigers tonight because they got to play the Angels.
No, they got to play Cincinnati
Oh,
tonight.
they got to play Cincinnati tonight. You're right. And then they got to play the Angels.
Then they got to play the Angels.
Those aren't going to be easy games. So, I mean, so they play Cincinnati for one game, then they come back home and play the Angels.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult because when you look at for the Tigers and Cincinnati, they just struggle. They're a struggling team. But so are the Tigers. I mean, like, I didn't expect the Tigers. They're sending Buck Farmer to the pit mound tonight, which is, I'm disturbed by that. But this is truly a team that's looking for the future, not looking to win now. And that's a disappointment, and I feel bad for Mike Ilitch that this season's all but a loss.
What do you think Ian would say?
He'd be going like this. Why can't I be a Kansas City Royals fan? Hey,
So-
Kansas City's magic number, I think, is 26 games.
You think so?
Yep, 20 division.
Wow.
Yep.
Over the Twinkies and the Tigers?
Yeah.
Jeez. Who ever thought we'd be thinking the Kansas City Royals would be winning the
I
AL
said
Central?
the Kansas City Royals would win the Central.
Yeah, you.
I did.
Yeah, I know.
And Ian Weatherspoon needs to admit it. He needs to admit it.
You think Ian will ever admit it?
No, but he'll be owing me a nice little delicious Taco Bell dinner.
So you really think that?
Yep. Hello, Taco Bell dinner from Ian Weatherspoon.
Poor Ian. Is that why he's not here today?
Yeah, probably.
You think that because he owes you a dinner?
Yes.
But any encouraging signs from the Tigers or absolutely none?
None.
You think none?
None. None. None.
You think the Indians should fire Terry Francona?
I think he should be the next manager of the Detroit Tigers.
You think so?
Yes.
So you think Awesomeness is done after the year?
Yep. Yep. I think he's done. And I think you hire either Terry Francona or Ron Gardenhire. I don't know why Ian Weatherspoon's not hiring Ron Gardenhire.
Because Ron Gardenhire is around Jim Leyland's age, older.
Yeah, but Tito
No
would be
offense to the
Tito
old.
would be perfect for this team. Tito would be he'll fire his team up. It's a veteran team. He's a win first manager. I mean, like,
He's certainly not showing it in Cleveland.
I know he's not.
But that
showing
might
a
be because
clue.
his Central's tough.
Yeah, Central's difficult, but I think Tito will be perfect for the Tigers next year as manager.
You really think so?
Yeah, Osmus has done so many bad things to destroy this team, destroy the psyche. He's no Jim Leland. If Lloyd McClendon would have been the Tigers manager, I think it would have been perfect.
But he's struggling at Seattle, though.
I know he is, but it just tells me that, what does this tell you about this organization? Their minor league system's terrible. It tells me that Jim Leland's assistants have been terrible, and Dave Dombrowski's decision making has been just completely terrible and disastrous. Alfredo Simon and Shane Green, that was a disaster. I mean, that's been a disaster for the Tigers. You know what I mean? You look at the deals he made. It's completely atrocious and completely awful deals that they made, But I do like the fact that Al Kaline said that the Tigers would, no, Al Avila, said that Mike Ilitch wants the Tigers to be players next year, and I think they will be huge buyers in the free agent market next year.
Do you think any of the current players need to go?
Looking at it, Roger Davis is a free agent. They traded away David Price. I still, in my mind, think Yoenis Cespedes is going to come back and be a Tiger. But you look at this team is still a mess. And I think Cespedes coming back would make sense for this team.
If he wants to come back.
If he wants to come back. You already got your future in Anthony Gomes to play center field. You got J.D. Martinez at right field. And then you got Kinsler at second. You got Iglesias at short. You have
It seems like the
Castellanos.
pieces are there, as Ian would say. Ian said the pieces are there.
Pieces are there. But they need to address starting pitching, and they need to address
that bullpen.
That's the problem with the Tigers, has been their pitching and their bullpen. They got the other pieces around that can hit, that can play well. It's just the problem is they need to address the starting pitching and they need to address the bullpen. That is the issue of this team.
I agree. They need to address the starting pitching and the bullpen. I agree with you there. But, right now it seems like the Kansas City Royals are the stalwarts of the AL Central.
Because their bullpen's very good, and also because they have a bullpen and they also have...
Tigers used to have pitching.
They used to have pitching.
Now they gave that all away to the Washington Nationals.
Yep.
And look where Washington Nationals are at. They're struggling. They're going to miss out on the playoffs, too.
I know.
That's a shame.
So this just tells me that Dave Dombrowski's been a disaster.
But now Dombrowski's at Boston.
And he's going to ruin that franchise.
I heard Ian was very happy about that.
Yep.
Yeah, Ian's very happy about that.
Hey, hockey's coming up about 42 days away.
Yeah, that's not that far away. All right, so any final thoughts?
Hey, hockey season's coming up. Makes me excited to watch hockey again.
I thought you were watching Victor E. Green.
I'm waiting for him to come. I'm waiting for my invitation. If you're there, Victor E. Green, if you are there, Victor E. Green, please come up to Lake Orion. Please. I have some people you want to meet. I have some people that you want to see. I know one person has been dying to meet. There's been actually at least 4 people in Lake Orion that's been dying to meet you. And of course, then I encourage you, Victor E. Green, please come to Lake Orion. You have plenty of Dallas Stars fans here waiting for you in your best command ever.
That thing's not going to ever come.
He'll come. I guarantee it.
That thing is not ever going to come.
I will find a way for him to come. He will come.
That thing is not going to come.
He will come. I will find a way to come. Victor E. Green, if you get my message, please come to Lake Orion, Michigan. Please. I'm begging you. Please come.
Good luck paying $2,000 just to get him up here. Or $20,000.
Please come, Victor E. Green. Please come to Lake Orion.
All right, that will do it for this week's episode of Between Taorminas, episode 195.
Hope Ian comes back next week.
That means we got 5 more episodes before show 200. And Ian Weatherspoon should be coming back next week. All right, Lake Orion, have a great night. See you soon.